And I always believe that social media is a great place to meet people and unite people regardless of your background, regardless of what you believe in, and it's based on opinions. In fact, I met my wife through social media, through blogging. A lot of my projects, if you realize, started because of I felt there was a gap, a void that was not filled in properly. Okay. Like Sarawak Crocs, for example, football in Sarawak was on the rise, but there's nobody reporting about Sarawak football. So I thought I should do it. Kuching Borneo is the same thing. I felt that Kuching was not promoted in the way that I felt it could be done.
As we do content today, as we record this, we have to pay for our own dinner. So that's pretty much
for me, it's like, okay, I'll be upfront lah. It's mind-blowing to know that people from outside are brought in, content lebih kurang sama, but they are paid so much more. And then when it comes to locals, you get free pass, t-shirt, and then itu saja. The hardest thing is actually to change that mindset lah, that locals can actually do good things, produce good things. I really dislike this saying when it comes to Sarawak especially. Sama diri bah, tolong sama diri bah, mun bukan kita siapa lagi. It's like you pay that guy from some other country 10,000 and you're giving me just free entries, free pass, and then thank you. Apa ya? Right.
Nak makan apa? Nak makan pass. Okay, welcome back to another episode here on Feel Good. I'm your host, Joaquin, better known as Kim. And today in the studio, I have a long-time friend because we just talked about it on over dinner. Apparently, we have known each other for more than 10 years, coming to 15 now. So, we have today in the studio, Abang Cyril, teacher by profession, but we're going to talk about something else apart from his career. So, before we go any further, introduce yourself.
So I'm Cyril, as you said just now. I've been a teacher for about 16 years. So you've known me for that long. But I've been doing social media, starting with blogging for, I think, since I was in university. I don't know whether the crowd pula, the new generation knows things like Circle 99, Community Zero, and so on, Friendster, so all these things lah. So I've been in the scene for quite some time. I learned by experience and not through books or from other people lah. So that's basically about me, and I'm a father. I have one daughter, and I'm still active in the scene, just that I don't put myself out there.
Okay, so that is what we're going to talk about today, whereby I give the title of Digital Journey lah, because I say we pula, I'm so old pula. We have come to an era whereby we don't know the word influencer, we don't know the word content creator. We don't know this until it was recently. But the first one that we actually gave that title is bloggers. I mean, apart from official media lah, right? We are more to like bloggers, because from there they moved to like micro bloggers. Then after that, then content creators, right?
Yes.
It seems like we were there since
quite some time lah. I would say that there is a lot of people saying that there's key media influencers, media opinion leaders or whatsoever. But at the early stages, the way I see it, it's not quoted from any book. The way I see it, everything started from blogging, and then it went to microblogging, and it became simpler until what it is today, where TikTok is very popular. So it all started with blogging. So if eventually people ask you, do you still blog? Or when they go to TikTok, say, do you blog? I think it's a sort of a form of blogging, just that it's visual. So it's the same thing.
Okay, before we go too deep into that, because that is what we're going to talk about for this recording lah. Let's warm up first lah. I felt like I've never asked you this question before. Before that, a backstory. Whenever I sit down with Abang Cyril, we will have a lot of idea that pop up in our discussion. Even though it's just over an hour or 2 hours lunch, something will pop up. But then we realize we don't have the time to do it lah. So we never actually sat down and like we talk a lot of cock lah. So but I felt like I never asked you this question before. If you could change one thing about yourself, instantly
okay,
like now you say I want to change this one thing about myself, then it would instantly change. What would it be and why?
I think if that could happen, it probably will be how I started this blogging journey.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I started blogging when websites like Poltan, Loyat were still in their infancy. So they went into something serious, and you look at them now, they are big.
Yeah, big.
So like me, I went through a different route. I thought that probably just main lah. I didn't look at it in a more serious manner. I didn't look at it as something that I should put more effort into. So I thought if I could change something right now, I'll go back and then change that so that I can actually do this full time.
Become a media mogul.
Something like that lah.
Okay. So also, I do not know whether it can be mentioned or not. So if you guys watching this, if you know Sarawak bloggers, if you know Kuching Borneo, if you know Sarawak Crocs, Font Central, so yeah, you know all this brand, but a lot of us do not know the man behind it. So a lot of people also thought that those brand names that I mentioned earlier on are run by organization or a team of people.
Yeah.
Actually, no. It's purely the man sitting with me talking to me right now. One man show, he does everything by himself. So yeah, it's quite impressive lah in a way. But let's talk about how did you started and obviously Sarawak Bloggers is not the first one that you start, am I right? So go back to the first one. What is the first one?
First one was a personal blog lah, because that time you had Kenesia.
Yeah.
So he was getting a lot of what they call it,
Traction.
he's going traction. He was going on trips, sponsorships, and so on. So he was someone that I would like to imitate in some way.
Okay.
But after a while, then I realized that he is not me. I am not him. I can't be like him, and I must have my own journey. So that's where I started to do my own personal blog. But from then on, I started to realize when Poltan started to become more niche, Loyat became more niche, then I realized that is the more proper way to go. So I started to start things like Kuching Borneo and so forth lah. So that is why all these projects come up. And then Sarawak Bloggers came on because there was a group of people in Kuching known as Kuching Bloggers then. They were also doing these things lah. They were trying to gather people around, and I always believe that social media is a great place to meet people and unite people regardless of your background, regardless of what you believe in, and it's based on opinions. In fact, I met my wife through social media, through blogging.
Now talk about it.
She writes very well.
She writes very well. So shout out to Mrs. Cyril, Dina. So this is something that she holds true until today, because for her she write purely just to for herself, because she want to express herself. But although she write quality work, she produce quality blog, she never want to monetize it. Even true. Until today.
Yeah, she did comment at one point and say, when I go to your blog, it feels like I'm reading the Star. Because it was so many advertisements. Because for me, blogging is like, at first you always start because of interest. But after a while, you get tired. So where does that motivation come in? So it comes through monetizing all these things. So for me, the amount I'm getting is not much. It covers my expenses, but it's enough to keep me going. So back to Sarawak Bloggers. Sarawak Bloggers came into line because I felt that Kuching Bloggers at that time, they had a lot of issues. So I felt that Sarawak Bloggers could fill in that gap to unite everybody under one umbrella and to move as an organization. Because in West Malaysia, it's already happening where bloggers or social media influencers are actually getting paid. Whereas in Kuching, when they come here, selalu tidak ada duit. So it's not free when you go to events. So I thought that maybe when we move as a group, we could get better recognition and also help each other to build better content.
In a way that it's true when you say that. Too bad we didn't push further back then lah. Because after that, I mean, you have your work, I have my work, so we have to put food on the table first. Because back then, writing or creating, creating contents is basically the term for it lah, kan?
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter what we are writing about. We can go to an event to write about that event, or we can write purely about what do I think about my life today. That is still blogging, but it's creating content in a way, ma. It's just at that time.
Yeah, like, it was suka-suka
doesn't pay,
saja.
yeah,
Suka-suka. You
suka-suka.
just write whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it came to, because like Kuching bloggers, they had that issue. One of the issues was people writing negative comments about establishments or restaurants. So some restaurants were not happy about it.
Yeah.
So I thought Sarawak bloggers can actually do that by actually, sharing and educating the bloggers how to write, so that when you have a partnership with a certain company, you will tell them that, okay, there are things that you might not like, but put it in a way that will not hurt them, so that you can have a lasting relationship. So you wanted that also to build up the social media scene in Sarawak or Kuching in general.
So I think also back then we don't have a knowledge of whereby, especially if you want to build a social media presence, you have to have a community behind the whole thing. So somehow that time you started Sarawak bloggers, it is starting a community.
Yes.
Right? Because then back then we have quite numbers of people. We have numbers of members that is under that same umbrella, coming together to have events and stuff and whatnot. So let's continue with the question. Okay. So I think for the community part, right? So do you... Because obviously now Sarawak bloggers is not as active as what it used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
So how do you now juggle for your community? Because like macam, let's say you started Kuching Borneo. So Kuching Borneo, it's pretty much about sharing how Kuching punya vibe is, especially those who wanted to visit Kuching. Then they know a little bit more about Kuching. Or for those that is away from home, that Kuching Borneo acts as a remedy to cure all these misses a little bit here and there. Like, oh, I've left because you have people who actually commented saying that, oh, I've not been back in Kuching for so many years. True. And this is like, wow, it touched me when I see all these photos. So how do you actually, what is your tips to actually build this community around the brands that you have?
Actually, a lot of my projects, if you realize, started because of, I felt there was a gap, a void that was not filled in properly. Okay. Like Sarawak Crocs, for example, football in Sarawak was on the rise, but there's nobody reporting about Sarawak football. So I thought I should do it, highlight Sarawak football. Kuching Borneo is the same thing. I felt that Kuching was not promoted in the way that I felt it could be done. So I started Kuching Borneo, and in terms of tips, what you can do, what you should do, I feel that someone should just do something because you love it. That's the whole point lah. So you won't feel tired. And then you must focus on your niche. Like Kuching Borneo is dedicated to Kuching and some parts of Borneo. But like you said, a lot of people tend to share their experiences, say they have not visited and so on. That one, it was a surprise to myself. I have people actually giving me photos and asking me to share their photos. But of course, we have to maintain that brand. Because one of the things that I always emphasize when I start a new project is there are two things. One is I will give it 3 years. If after 3 years there is no feedback or the reception is slow, I will just stop the project. The second one is I will focus on branding. That is why whenever I do a project, I will make sure that everything has the same name, the same logo, and so forth. So that it's more recognizable. So I think in terms of tips is these two lah, and then you must focus on your passion lah, what you like about it. I mean, things that you love is easy to promote. Rather than you promote something you don't like and you just go for the money, after a while you get burnt out. So there's no point.
Abang Cyril is also a person who actually taught me about if you are fueled with your passion, you're gonna get very, very far because you won't get burnt out very, very easily. So that is actually, I think it's actually somehow become my one of my life quote.
Really?
Yeah, because you are the one who actually said you are the one who actually, although you might not remember it, but yeah, if passion is your fuel, you're gonna get very far.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of my blogs that I keep until today are still going on.
Yeah, because you are passionate about it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Sarawak Crocs is not updated until today since a few months ago. It's because I lost my passion there. So, yeah.
Okay. And also, because we own the podcast, so I can say it, because Sarawak football now is shit. That is also one of the main things I'm going to say.
There's a lot of politics behind it that is like, hey, come on, man. Why is things done like this? So, yeah, it's a lot of behind the scenes that it just takes a toll and you feel like, malas lah.
Yeah, so if you think Manchester United is shit, look at Sarawak football, then you know what is shit. Okay, so from blogging since, that was like what, not even 20 years, right? Not even
2004. So
2004.
I already started.
Not 20 years, 19 years.
19
19 years, 2023 now,
okay.
right? So not yet 20 years. Let's say 20 years lah.
It was 2001 actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because when I went to further my studies, I went to Sabah matriculation. There was this thing called Community Zero and had a blog section. So I started writing there. And then that's where I started using the name Dason because people had difficulty mentioning my name Cyril. Yeah. I really hated it. It's like Shahril lah. So I decided, okay, let's lose the C and put Dason.
Imagine my name. Okay, so I never knew about this. Okay, let's say it's 20 years lah, 20 years until today lah, The trend picked up slow, but the moment it picked up, the transformation is really fast.
Yes.
Right? Because we see like from the social media, then after that immediately people pick up from blogging, people pick up micro blogging.
Yeah.
Then immediately it was video, then it was just audio. Then after that they come up TikTok shorts, and things are getting shorter, visual is getting faster, there's a lot of all this transformation. Because of this fast pace, how do you keep yourself up to this pace?
Because I'm a teacher also, I have to also know what the younger generation is doing. So I do follow things like TikTok and so on. In terms of content, I cannot fight them. Definitely I cannot fight them. Like those doing shorts, those doing YouTube. I don't have the time to process all these things.
Yeah.
And TikTok actually to me takes a lot of time to do a proper video. So I just stick to what I'm good at, which is writing. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize this. TikTok does not come out in your search algorithm. Yeah. So when you look for something, you won't find it on TikTok. Yeah. You'll find it on YouTube, and probably you'll find a write-up about it. So why not just focus on that? For me lah. Okay. But for the younger generation, especially nowadays, you can notice that their attention span is shorter. 15 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute at most. And you have to adapt. If I'm doing videos, which I am, I have to slowly shorten my videos. That is how I adapt lah. But when it comes to writing, I believe there's still a lot of people who are willing to write, who is not willing to find stuff and watch through a whole video, and they prefer to read. So that's where I come in. That's where I stay relevant until today.
Okay. I also felt this in a way that I've mentioned this to a few people that actually when they mentioned about I actually wanted to do something, or like for example I wanted to create a content, but I felt my niche is very very small, right? But I say I mean, if you create a content, and the whole world, let's say the whole world, if only 1% of the people follow you, you are already good enough.
Yes,
you are very very good.
Yes,
right. So if you don't believe me, I will tell these people, I mean, you're already very clear in this.
Yeah.
If you just want to talk about one plant, if you don't want to talk about Monstera itself, you talk about just Monstera, you will have 1% of the people in the whole world who are crazy about Monstera would follow you. And then in your blog or in your video, whatever you want to sell or whatever you want to promote, that 1% will support you. And that 1% of the whole billions of people in the world, it's a lot of people,
We actually have a Sarawakian who actually decided to follow just one brand, and he actually did it big.
Which is?
Robin.
Okay.
Everybody was using Canon,
Yeah.
whatever camera brand.
Yeah.
He stick to, was it Olympus?
Olympus, Olympus,
So he stick to Olympus and look at where he is now.
As a producer now, Peter, do you know who is Robin? Robin Wong? Oh no, maybe you see him, you know. Yeah.
Because he specifically specializes in Olympus. Anything about Olympus, to the extent that Olympus offered him to become a brand ambassador, whatever.
Yeah.
So he is a Kuching guy doing big things.
Yeah.
And now he goes into videos, and if you see the comments that go to him, because now Olympus is already almost dead lah.
Yeah.
So he goes to other brands, but people still follow him because he has the technique of shooting and so on. So I think he adapts, and he's a good example of how successful you can be if you delve into just one niche.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, do what you like.
Yeah. That's how I can end up telling ghost story because since young. Okay. So 20 years. Wanna say long, it's not long. Wanna say short, it's not short. So throughout this 20 years, what would be your biggest challenge in this digital journey that you went through?
Getting people in Sarawak to actually pay social media influencers.
As we do content today, as we record this, we have to pay for our own dinner lah. So that's pretty much sums it out lah. Okay?
For me, it's like, okay, I'll be upfront lah. It's mind blowing to know that people from outside are brought in. Content lebih kurang sama, but they are paid so much more. And then when it comes to locals, you get free pass, t-shirt, and then itu saja. So it's like, to me, I mean, the hardest thing is actually to change that mindset lah. That locals can actually do good things, produce good things. I know some locals or local content creators actually are able to get some money or get paid, but if you compare them and West Malaysians, for example, or if you are not a Malaysian, you're from outside, the difference is so great, and yet the quality is there, the same.
Why do I feel like there's a saying for this, Why I feel like macam, kalau kulit putih memang diagong-agongkan.
I don't know.
I feel like there's a saying like that because now I remember, anak kera di hutan disusukan, anak sendiri di rumah mati kelaparan. So we have felt that since blogging days lah.
Yeah, since we started Sarawak bloggers, we've always felt that way. We always felt that how can we improve when we are not given support? And I really dislike this saying when it comes to Sarawak especially. Sama diri bah, tolong sama diri bah. Mun bukan kita siapa lagi? It's like you pay that guy from some other country 10,000 and you're giving me just free entries, free pass, and then thank you. Apa ya? Right.
Nak makan apa? Nak makan pass.
Even covering event as well. Like for me now, if like Kuching Borneo is some people actually invited Kuching Borneo to cover the events, I'll tell them straight lah. I cannot attend unless you're paying. Because who's going to pay for my parking ticket, my time especially? To get me here, I have a very tight schedule. Bukan YB lah, but I have a lot of commitments lah.
So berusaha lah YB juga lah. But I also felt one of the things that I want to address. Okay, this one probably I'm not going to mention the event name or I'm not going to mention the party behind it lah. But when I say you're probably gonna you immediately gonna know. I remember one of this event that we were asked to cover. We were given entry, yes. We were given coupon makan, yes. We were given free t-shirt, yes. But we were not given transport fee. And the event is not in Kuching itself, The event is not Kuching itself, The event is, let's say, 40 minutes drive away, But we were not given any transportation fee. We were expected to either you pick a bus and go and queue up like everybody else, or you tanggong sendiri lah.
Yeah.
And for me, that time, okay lah, probably still young, then nasa, okay lah, you know.
Mau party-party lah, to go lah.
Yeah. But then now you think about it, that is quite shitty, but I mean like, you have to tanggong your own, whereby again, you brought people from not from Sarawak, and they were paid.
They're paid.
Hotel, free pass, or whatever we get, they have. On top, they get free accommodation, they get money, a flight,
tour.
Yeah.
So the most difficult thing in this line in social media is actually convincing people that we can actually produce the same thing. If you ask me now, can you produce something similar, like covering some major events? I have to decline because I don't have the time anymore. But when I was younger, I think, not to say my content is world class or whatsoever lah, but at least on par with some people. And then to see them get paid so much more is very disappointing lah. Especially when you have a bunch of people with you under Sarawak bloggers, and you are not able to actually give them, minta RM50 pun si mau. Oh my god, what is 50 ringgit?
Recently, this is also something that pop up in social media, saying that talent is not free. So writing, it's not entirely just talent lah. Although you put in a lot of hard work, but you have to have that ability to produce quality content, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, with terima kasih, we can makan, not the terima kasih. Cannot makan what terima kasih. Free pass cannot makan what. After that, we have to spend time to go. Then after that, let's say your event happen Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, hari kerja, you have to minta cuti. Saturday, some people kerja, you have to minta half day cuti. But this was all not considered.
That is why I don't like tolong sama diri bah. I mean, if it's really close friends, satu kali no hal lah. But this one is like over and over sama aja. I mean, you see it on social media nowadays. Musicians, those performing arts, they are saying the same thing.
Recent experience that I had was again, I'm not going to mention brand name lah now lah. But let's say a body. Kalau charity event, which is they use charity event lah. Okay, Kim can help or not? Can charity event?
Jangan charity bah.
Charity kan? Can. But at the back of my head, I was thinking, probably if next time you ada corporate event, then you're like, Kim has always been there for charity event. For corporate, we can pay, so let's get him to do it. But you guess what happened?
Well,
charity saja Kim can do.
To add salt on it, charity event for you is free. For others who come to cover it from outside, we pay you good money. Then you're like,
why I write this question even to drain myself, to drain my mental health.
It has happened all the time. So that's the most difficult thing when it comes to content creation in Sarawak. I mean, they will only pay you when you are established. Whereas when you are not established, even though your content is good, I know a lot of people who can write, who can do good coverage. Like people like Veronica, I'm sure you know her. Her videos are great. In fact, better than some people. But macam dia aja.
Right. I guess if I to mention more, I guess this would be.
Janganlah sedih nanti.
This would be a ranting podcast already. We will rant about stuff, non-stuff. Okay lah. Let's talk about again 20 years. What would be your biggest achievement?
Tweet up Kuching.
Tweet up Kuching. Okay, let's talk about Tweet up Kuching. Okay, you give the backstory about Tweet up Kuching.
Okay, Tweet up Kuching actually happened because someone, I don't want to mention name, said Kuching was boring.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously, that person said Kuching was boring. So we got a few friends of ours got together, talk about it, and then everybody said, all right, let's pitch in to do this event, this social media event. That time tweet ups were huge in West Malaysia. So we thought, let's do our own in Sarawak. We had a lot of help from people, and then because that time Sarawak Bloggers was an organization, so we park it under Sarawak Bloggers because Sarawak Bloggers had that authority because it's registered to actually source for donations, source for funds and so on. So we didn't require people to actually pay for stuff, but we got people to actually help to bring stuff in. People like Fazli, people like Alisa, Marisa, Fahri, yourself. There were a lot of people who are willing to help. So eventually it became a very huge event. It was widely covered. Surprisingly, to my surprise itself, we managed to get like few thousand people flying in from KL even.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. Then we did the second one because it was well accepted. We did the second one. The second one was actually won the best social media event in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So I was surprised myself because we do things suka and it happened to be big, and then there was an inside joke among us that said, "Siapa madah kucing si happening lah." Until today lah.
Right. I guess the pride that we carry from Tweet Up Kuching was there's actually a lot of names that actually start to first appear in Tweet Up Kuching and eventually they now make it big.
Yeah, Joakim Tan is one of them, right? Joakim Tan is one of them. He never MC'd before that. The second Tweet Up, we asked him to become an MC.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it very publicly, like in Tweet Up Kuching. So I was given an opportunity to actually do it, and I was like, yeah, man, that time just try and do it, and that was until now. And then I don't want to say rest is history because rest is still happening now. But other than that, we also have Jasmine Chin, now an actress
and TV host.
Whereby last time, remember when we approached her to co-host with me, she said no lah,
no I cannot,
malu lah, I don't think I can do it lah. And look at her now.
Man.
Another one would be Nana Shimi. Yeah, Nana Shimi, that time was still new in the music scene.
I mean, the interesting thing about Tweet Up Kuching that time when we did it was we were trying to bring things that are virtual to the physical. So people like Nana Shimi, they were performing live videos on YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't say that we were directly involved in how big she was, but like we take pride that we actually brought her up, and then people started to know her better. And then when she performed, people saw that she has a YouTube. So there were a lot of people that were like that lah.
In a way that we are stepping stone, but we are the very small stepping stone. In a way that we actually help them, but because they themselves work for it. Like Nana Shimi, back then when we know her, she's very, very young.
Yes.
Very, very young. But then we can see the fire in her, and then she was so...
she did a good job in the performance.
I still remember back then. I still remember her show. Then after that, even the year after we actually asked her to come back, she's like, by all means, I'm definitely gonna be there. But the moment she signed for a contract, then she's like, "Oh, now I'm binded by my contract." But so if as long as I can find a loophole, then probably I can make it lah. So then you can see how much she shared the pride in that event lah, because that event eventually help a lot of people lah. I'm not gonna say that it launches into big stuff, but it helped us a lot lah. So what biggest achievement?
I think Tweet Up Kuching was the biggest one because of course one of my write-ups actually won an award. But to me, getting people together, uniting people without looking at their race, religion, or whatsoever, putting Sarawakians as a bunch of easygoing people in one place just to celebrate social media together, I think that is something that I probably will not see myself doing in the next years to come lah. Sudah tua lah. Sudah out of what they call it, a bit different sudah the way I go.
What happened to Tweet Up Kuching at the end? Everybody get busy lah.
After the second one, everybody got busy. I got married after that. Okay. Immediately after Tweet Up Kuching, I got married. And then had a kid a year later. Mana ada masa. Okay.
Orang terjumpa kerja, dia terjumpa jodoh.
I got married, and then more commitments, and everybody had things. I mean, all the community members in general, we had our own stuff already. We had some of us were starting careers, so we don't have time to play around and do volunteer work like this anymore. I mean, Tweet Up Kuching was, at some point for me personally, I lost some money also because there's some expenses that I had to pay for. as the organizing committee. Pay first and never got back. Things like that. And then some of them, they had other commitments to work. They were flying off, studying. So it was not easy to get people back. And then doing things without the core team felt a bit awkward also. Because you started something with a bunch of people, then suddenly you notice, it's not the same people anymore.
True.
And also, social media, somehow the trend went towards something else. Twitter was not as popular as it used to be. In West Malaysia, it started to drop. So I think that also caused the whole event to not tidak perlu organize lagi lah. Because we are out of touch at 30 years old. Then maybe we don't know what's the trend now. Why the youngsters want to come out? What TikTok? You do TikTok? Two of us do TikTok. Nobody will watch.
Okay. So actually, I did. After that, I actually tried to relive back some of the glory lah. So I did organize live. Hashtag live. Hashtag live was pretty much our kiranya final collaboration in event lah. We actually wanted to do it. Not to say it flopped.
No, it didn't flop. I don't think it flopped. I think it went well. It's just that the crowd or the committee itself is not the same anymore. So the ideas probably is different. And that time I think we were more commercialized also, in the sense that we were seeking to get funding so that we can run the whole thing. And then we didn't want volunteers to run it anymore. We wanted EO to do it, so that we can relieve that pressure, because all of us were busy already.
And but it is true lah, like what you say lah, we are a bit out of touch lah. We are a bit out of touch.
Like for us, if you ask me to go in front of a stage or in front of a camera to dance, I wouldn't do it. But probably someone who is younger than me, 16, 17, they don't mind doing it. So things like that lah. And because we wouldn't do it in the event. So usaha lah.
Okay. I guess that was pretty much we did it only one time.
Hashtag live was only once. Wanted to do it again after that, but after that I think we discussed and decided that it's not viable anymore lah. We are really out of touch of the newer generation. There's a huge generation gap. I'm 40 years old now. Those on TikTok are like 17, 18
or younger.
Or younger. So younger. It's like when our older parents tell us you should not do this, you should do that. I don't want to be that person.
True. Okay. So but you still consume social media now, right? You still
I do, because of my day job. Where I need to know what is the trend, what they are doing, and then once a while become old man lah, advise them you should not do this and so on. Also because I have a daughter, so I need to know how to safeguard her, because I believe that in this age you cannot stop someone from doing something. What you can do is you can advise them, the good and the bad, and let them decide. So because of that, I have to know all these things. I have to be a step ahead. I think a lot of parents don't know that TikTok has a safe mode.
Parents, so now you picked up something new. There's a safe mode in TikTok.
So my daughter has a TikTok, but whoever messages her, whoever communicates with her, whatever video she posts, I have control over it. Instagram also.
So a lot of parents probably already know this, but I'm still gonna say it lah. Social media or the internet lah. Let's say the internet lah. The internet has opened up the world to a different, whole different dimension, right? Whereby last time Predator, probably if you only gonna come to you if, let's say, you walk in a dark alley. If you go somewhere alone by yourself, then probably you're gonna see Predator.
True.
But because of today's the world is so open and wide, you're gonna meet Predator anywhere, everywhere, and they're gonna come to you and they're gonna lure you. They're gonna pretend to be your friends, and the next thing you know, probably you have done something that you're gonna regret for the rest of your life.
It's a scary world.
It's a scary world.
As a parent, it's a scary world.
I'm
I'm always worried about my kid.
It doesn't matter whether you have a daughter or a son, both is still scary because predator, pretty much they are like beasts lah. They eat every freaking thing, lah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so what do you think that let's stray a little bit, but it's still there, huh? What do you think that it's one of the scariest thing that you can see on social media as a parent now?
I think it's what do you call it? All these things that are related to sexual harassments.
Okay.
These pedophiles, predators. I think this is the scariest one lah.
Okay.
On top of that, some games they promote violence.
Oh.
So it's dangerous in a way that killing someone. I know during our years there is what do you call it? We had these RPG games and so on.
You can read it on my face.
Yes, but we were exposed at the older age. These kids now are exposed at 4 years old, 5 years old, how to kill someone, and they can revive the friend back. So at that age, they are not able to actually know the difference. So I think that's also a scary part. But the most difficult one to me will be, or the most dangerous one to me will be all these older men who are manipulating the younger kids.
To do stuff.
To take photos of themselves in weird poses or whatsoever. I mean, predators in general.
Predators.
So I think that's my biggest worries. On top of that, I know some may not agree with me. Vaping is also a big concern of mine.
Oh yeah, recently there's an issue whereby it shows a kid what looks like primary school vaping at a mamak store as if it's something that is very, very common.
The problem with vaping, this one is already going into this discipline thing lah. The problem with vaping is the liquid. You can mix it with other things.
Yeah.
So when that happens, like smoking, you can put 1%, 2%, and so forth. So bila dia tidak makan sudah, you put something stronger. So I think that's the dangerous part, and it's sold openly.
Back then, when we were younger, this one also stray a bit, but right after this, we're going to go back to the question. The both of us, we are from Bawok, right?
Yes.
So when we were younger, we actually have little to no drug issue.
Yes.
Apparently now, there is kampong in Bawok. There are drug lords inside there.
Yeah.
Drug is actually somehow became very, very serious.
I look after SPM in the prison once, and the prison guard told me that their target market now, these drug lords, are actually kids. So that's why
young primary school kids.
Yes, they will inject it inside the drinks, let them become addicted, and then it's easier for them to get more clients.
So if you're thinking about, let's say you are imagining, probably like Pablo Escobar in Kampong. No, they don't sell you like cocaines. They don't sell you like powder or major stuff, but the small things that were injected into drinks, coated with your candies. So when the kids go and buy, and then you're like, how come the drinks is like $5 or $10? Why is it so expensive? But your kids are addicted to it. That is already with drugs, and they are addicted since
most
young.
likely lah. And then if they vape, it's even easier because there's an article. I think an article or few articles that I read. People promote vaping as something that is safe. It asks you to quit smoking. And this is true for the 0.01% of the vapes that they sell. The 99.9% is mostly vape with nicotine. And you can adjust wherever you want. And the cheapest vape now is like 30 ringgit, accessible to children, kids. I'm not sure.
You can get
cheaper.
Lesser than 20.
We had a lot of vapes being confiscated. Some were very high end lah. You could put in the wash. That was
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cikgu saja can see all these things.
Put in the wash, you press, keluar like that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are some that's as big as a pen. That's why it's very difficult for us lah.
Oh, okay. Things that teacher today face lah.
Yeah. And then I also have this conversation. I caught one student vaping, and then I called the parents. So I told him, your son was caught smoking.
Okay.
And his response surprised me, to be honest lah.
Say, no, not smoking, it's vaping.
Yeah, he actually said that. It was like, to me it's the same thing, but to him it's different.
Yeah.
So the parents allow it, so it makes it even worse lah.
Okay, so stray a bit too far.
Jauh banyak cerita that one. If you go to education, banyak cerita.
Yeah, okay. Not gonna. I don't want my friend here to receive a statement from his employer tomorrow lah. Okay, so I've never heard this also. I've never heard about this also. But you have like you write so many things. You produce so many contents. Were there actually like blogs or people that you actually looked up to as for inspiration?
Like I mentioned earlier, Kenesia was one of them.
Oh, okay.
But
which no longer
doesn't blog anymore.
It doesn't blog anymore.
And then I look up to people like Paul Tan.
Okay.
I mean, their websites lah. Website Paul Tan, Loyat. I'm into these technology things. And in terms of video, I think on YouTube, Mr. Who's the Boss. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he does all this tech stuff. It's so impressive. I know some people will prefer MK. What is that? There's one guy in US who's doing it, but I like this Mr. Who's the Boss from the UK. His content is precise, it's interesting, and he just reviews tech stuff lah. I look at tech stuff more often nowadays. When it comes to tourism, there's not many people I look up to because to me, Kuching Borneo is more towards promoting Kuching. So I just write about home. Just tell people what's happening at home. That's all.
Okay. So those are the big names. Big names
nowadays. Like I said,
but you have seen them since there were nobody.
Since the websites was small lah.
Small. Oh, okay. So you do read up a lot as well, huh? Because right before we start recording, I was telling Abang Cyril saying that I felt like I did not consume enough social media. I felt like I did not consume enough TikTok, especially. Although I put up my content there, but I don't consume enough to actually.
Yeah, scrolling takes time.
yeah, and also I don't want to get hooked
Yeah.
to it. You know. You have experienced this. I'm sure you have experienced this. Even those watching at home. You were in the toilet. You were telling yourself, okay, I'm going to do my shit. I'm going to scroll. Once I'm done, then I'm going to stop scrolling.
Yes.
The next thing you know, your shit is already something else already, but you are still there scrolling. Then you're like, oh shit, my leg is already numb. I should get off now. Then you're like, one more video. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So I felt that is somehow it's unhealthy lah.
Yes, true.
So or like macam, you know, you are in bed, let's say it's weekend. You open your eyes, like, still early leh. Let's scroll a bit first. Then next thing you know, 1 hour gone like that. You're like, shit, I should have done something else. But yeah, so I felt like that was unhealthy.
True.
But so I try not to lah. Because I already spent a lot of time producing, putting it on. But I also felt that it's not helping the growth of it. Because you have to keep up with the trend, see what is happening. Although you're within your niche lah. So I'm in that dilemma lah. I don't want to get hooked, but at the same time I want to grow it. So how now?
For me, work is work lah. So when I'm doing my day job, it's my day job completely.
Yeah.
Once I get home, I will update myself, update my blogs. And then the time to spend for keeping up to the trend or whatever it is, that one is usually done before I sleep. It doesn't take long lah, like half an hour only. And then you must be on X or Twitter. Twitter has a lot of things that you can follow. And as far as TikTok is concerned, I only scroll for like half an hour only. That's the most. Then I will stop because I have other stuff to do.
So wait. So do you have a routine of when to write, what to? I mean, like, do you have like, okay, go home, 6 p.m. I must write this hour.
I have a schedule lah, a routine lah. Basically a routine lah.
Okay.
I come after picking up my daughter. I will update a few blogs, and then when dinner comes, prepare dinner and so forth, and then at night usually I will continue doing some stuff. Maybe one article at the most.
Every day.
Almost every day.
Almost every day.
Because an article takes like half an hour only to write. depending on what.
Okay. Not video.
Video is different. Video probably will take me until 1 or 2 hours. And then, like I said to you just now, like you focus on quality, whereas I just want to put it out there.
Okay.
So my videos can be very straightforward. Sekali rakam on, potong sikit-sikit, up.
Okay.
So yeah, and then when it comes to TikTok, usually I have time in between, like when I'm waiting for my daughter to come back, I will be scrolling. That's where I read all this stuff. I have half an hour to kill. I can open my laptop, alang-alang.
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is sit down and wait in the car while scrolling. So that's where I get all my information and follow the trend or whatsoever.
Okay. So in a way, it's routine lah.
It's routine lah. And before I sleep, because I have this ability to fall asleep easily. Very easily.
Good for you.
So sometimes it's still not my bedtime, but my daughter insists that we all go to bed together. So that will be like 10 o'clock. Or
thank you, Sasa.
So I'm not sleepy yet. So I'll just put on my headphones after we say goodnight, lights out, everything. I put on my headphones and listen to whatever it is on YouTube, like a podcast lah.
Okay.
So while listening, I can get some information and then fall asleep. So when I happen to wake up again, I just keep my earphones.
Is this since young?
No. Since I became a dad.
Since you became a dad. Probably that is just very tiring lah. So that's why I can fall asleep.
You mean tidur dengan
yeah.
Oh, that one since young.
Since young.
I can sleep on a moving boat. So my wife was impressed on our way from one of our trips. We were on a boat. The boat was like rocking very strongly. Aku tidur.
Hey, Daddy.
You know, our Fervent Borneo from Kuching to Bintulu is so bad, right? Some people say you cannot sleep, patah belakang lah. I can sleep the whole way.
Good
no
for you lah.
man.
Good for you lah. So like, let's say you are traveling somewhere far, then you're like, just sleep in the plane lah. Doesn't matter lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because for me, I felt like macam, especially consuming content at night I cannot. Because I will have like ideas left and right, and I need to write it down. There are nights whereby maybe I should not say this, but yeah, I already said it halfway. I would tell girlfriend saying that, okay, good night, I'm gonna go to sleep, right? Then after that, I'm gonna just have a look at social media, sekejap, then I go to sleep. Look. Next thing I know, 4 in the morning, I'm in the studio, right, writing some stuff up or sketching some stuff up. I'm like, I cannot help it. But then I'm not the person whereby, macam there are some people who are so, you work late, then the next day you're like 7, now you can still coffee and go, right? I cannot. After 4, then the next day I feel fuck. I cannot do anything else. I'm like, fuck the idea last night. I can't work on it now because I cannot. Then, so again,
actually it's something I want to avoid also because I tend to overthink. So if let's say I don't put on earphones and then I just lie down doing nothing, I tend to think about the future. Like when I was 12, I remember thinking about what age I want to get married, what I want to buy, what house, job.
We have talked about it before.
So it's like, I don't want to overthink all these things. Okay. I just want to sleep. So one way is actually to plug in earphones and listen to what's happening. So that way, I don't think about other situations. Because, I don't know, it's just embedded in me that I will think about what's next. What can I do next? What can I improve? Why is this done like this? How can I make it faster so that I don't waste time? Stuff like that. So it's I don't want to overthink lah. Like I'll be planning like a very small stuff, but it will grow so big at the end of the day that you cannot sleep. And then if I pass 2 o'clock, I cannot sleep at all. That's my cut-off point. Pukul 2, belum tidur, I will not be able to sleep until morning. Because I will be so glued to that idea.
The glued to the idea, that is what I'm trying to say lah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Cyril sudah bertukang, sudah kat belakang, build store.
That's why, and you want to do it immediately. You don't want to waste. You want to like, let's do it now. So it's like, shit, man.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, wow, there are nights like.
That's why thankfully when we go out and have coffee or whatever or makan, we do it in the afternoon.
Yeah.
If we do it at night, I tell you,
Ayo, I cannot. See, just now we only had dinner sama, and the dinner wasn't even long. And there's an idea that sparked from there. Let's see what we can do about it. Huh? Okay, we have come to almost the end. But before, what do you think is a step forward for you now? I don't want to sound like interviewer, like how do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I think I'm content with where I am. I'm trying to improve. Like you mentioned, Font Central is not right. Font Central is a project that started like 3 years ago. So it's still young actually. But with brands like Honor approaching me, brands like Infinix approaching me, offering me to do reviews for the font, I think there's something there lah. So the way forward for me is to strengthen Font Central, because I mean, like Sarawak Crocs, I said I'm probably going to kill it off, even though it has a very good following, because there's too much politics, too much negativity. At this age, I just want peace and quiet. I don't want to find any enemies. Sarawak Crocs was a lot of people more saman lah, whatever it is. So
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it lah. I don't want to think about these things. I just want to do something that's positive. So Kuching Borneo is already having that. So I'll just continue on that. Font Central is another project that I think can have that same vibe. So I'm just going to continue these two projects. The way forward, will it be like Loyat or will it be huge? I don't know, because I have a day job. So my priority is always my day job. Regardless of whatever it is, whatever I do for social media cannot interfere with my day job. So when I'm doing my day job, I do it as good as I can. So of course the social media part will be a bit behind lah.
Unless somebody want to buy over with $10 million, then probably
if you have 10 million, someone wants to buy for 10 million, send me the check, man. I don't mind.
Bye day job.
No, I mean buy my projects lah. My day job, I wouldn't leave my day job.
You won't? Then after that you can do your media mogul already, what?
No.
10 million, man.
Malaysia
to ringgit now.
Malaysia has the best pension scheme in the world. So they will look after my kid until she's 18. So even when I'm gone, my kid will be looked after. So why should I? 10 million habis macam tu saja.
You can grow the 10 million to 20 mah.
Yalah, itu nak now kalau tak pandai belanja.
Yeah, you need to get a Chinese manager. I'm not saying. Okay. So before we wrap up, like the show name, and we do this in any other episode, what is your feel good? Is there a quote or an ideology or movie that it's your feel good?
I stand by this phrase, which is, if you are really good at something, if you're really great, you will not bring other people down. So because of that, for me, whenever I do something, I do it to the best I can. So if I'm good, I don't have to worry about other people. It's when you feel you have to bring somebody down, that means you're not good enough. So you should improve lah. So I stand by that lah. That makes me feel happy, because I know that whatever I do, I've done my best. And if it doesn't transpire as I wanted to, then at least I've done my best lah. I don't need to bring people down. Just untuk some of our mentality ni mau naik tarik orang lain, I really don't like it.
Okay, another topic for another day. A long one some more. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So if let's say people want to find you, so what do you want to put up? I think I just put up the two mentioned that just now lah. So I'm gonna put up Kuching Borneo, Instagram, and then they can find everything else under the.
Yeah, everything is. I mean, there are 3 accounts. 2 in general that is active, Kuching Borneo. And then if you want to find me personally, it's my own name lah. It's technically, like I said, I focus on branding. So Cyril Dason is my brand lah.
Cyril Dason. So and also the other one is Font Central if you are into tech stuff lah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put a link down below. Once again, thank you very much. I hope media mogul someday lah.
Amen.
Alright, that's all for this episode. Until the next one, once again, I'm Kim and this is Feel Good. And until the next episode, thank you very much for watching. Bye.